Growing up, I have always been surrounded by a negative environment, particularly when it came to certain people in my life that have definitely left an impact on me when I was much younger. But now that I'm an adult, I those things have subsided and have gotten a lot better. I definitely don't let those influence me as much anymore, and I'm just really proud of myself for not turning out the way that I thought I would. Now, negativity. I am so tired of it. I'm tired of seeing people that are so negative, particularly when it comes to their lives, when it comes to, who they are, their future even. I find people are very negative the most when it comes to the future. You know, they tell themselves that they're worthless. They're not going to achieve anything great, and they're always going to be staying the same because that's all they know, unfortunately. Now, people aren't always negative on purpose. For majority of people, they end up fostering this negative mindset because of something that happened in their lives. Something that they were exposed to, certain people that influenced them, some experience that they had, and it caused them to foster this negative mindset. And it just kind of makes me really sad because I truly believe when I say this that those particular people that are super negative in life, I feel like those people have the most potential to actually do something great. Now, people or negativity overall looks different for a lot of people. It could be something, maybe constant complaining about their lives, just constant complaining that nothing's ever going their way. It could be just being negative, like speaking badly about other people, gossiping and all that. But particularly the negativity I was surrounded with was those people who would talk badly about others. And it is something that is not pretty. And I just really wish that the world wasn't so negative, because besides me growing up with negativity a lot in my life, I see the world super negative as well. Like, getting into just big topics like religion, politics, and everything. Like, I can never see anything positive come out of it. It's all negative, honestly. Whether you like to believe it or not, I feel like debates when it comes to those big topics usually end very negatively. It ends in people hating each other. Like it pretty much just it kills bonds. It can even kill friendships. Okay, and I'm just so fed up with it. I'm fed up with so much negativity, and I just wish people can just have some positivity, have some self confidence. Okay, because social media is a thing, and I know that influences a lot of us and our thoughts. It kind of programs us in a way, which is kind of scary to think about because what is that saying about us? What is that saying about our generation? What is that saying about humanity? Because, pretty much like half the world's population indulges in social media, and it definitely does influence a lot of our actions, a lot of our beliefs, and all. But I feel like it influences us. Well, I'm not saying just, but it could also influence negativity in our lives. There's definitely a lot of positive stuff that does come out of like social media, for you to be influenced with, but it's just negativity for the most part. And I'm just so tired of just seeing people downplaying themselves, people down talking themselves. Like, where is the self confidence, guys? I know that sounds a lot easier said than done. It's definitely you can't just like snap into being the most confident person one day. It's definitely a process. I understand because I always, not always, but for a short time, I used to be pretty negative about myself. In terms of my own well being, I would never talk. I would always try my best not to talk negatively about others. That's something I'm a lot more aware of now because that's just being hateful. Being a hateful person. It's those hateful people that you really want to stay away from because if you're friends with someone like that, then you're at a very high chance of actually adapting that same kind of mindset. And That's just not a good mindset to have at all. Anyways, I think I've talked for long enough already about this whole thing, but if you're just being negative or are surrounded constantly by negative stuff, just try your best. Okay, I'm just saying to try your best. Try your best not to come out like your friends or even family that might be negative. I hope you enjoyed and have some self confidence. Time to uplift ourselves and really kick ass.